Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for coming to today Bhakti Sastri class at ISKCON of Silicon Valley. So we'll be covering today 11th chapter. Before that, I'll just quickly sing small kirtan and then we'll go into the discussion of 11th chapter. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachata Deshatarane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashata Deshatarane. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita. Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shripada ki jai. We'll start with the prayers before the introduction on page 1. Om Agyan Timrandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Unmaltam Yena Tasme Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamlam Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadhutam परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So I'd like to welcome everyone for today's Bhakti Sastri class. We'll be covering chapter 11. His Grace Shivas Pandit Prabhu told me to cover this chapter, and I think last week, 2-3 weeks back, Shukeshwi Mataji has already covered 10th chapter. So I'll begin we'll begin with a little bit summary of the 10th chapter and how it connects to the 11th chapter. So there is one printout I have circulated and also mailed sent in the email. So in the 10th chapter, Krishna tells Aham Sarvasya Prabhu Matta Sarvam Parvartate Iti Matva Bhajante Ma Buddha Bhava Samanvita. And then I'll just read the translation. This is 10.8. Krishna declares that I am the source of all spiritual material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their heart. And also in the before few verses, Krishna tells that one who knows about these opulences is sure to become my devotee. And so in the third 10.3, Krishna tells, Yo mam ajam anadim cha veti loka maheshwaram asamudha se mrtyeshu sar pape pamuchyate. He who knows me as the unborn, as beginningless, as the supreme lord of all the worlds, he only undiluted among men is freed from all sins. So the effect of knowing the opulences of the Lord and knowing the true nature of the Lord is that one become free from all sins. And in one of the words, Krishna tells that one who is convinced about all these opulences, so in the 10.7, Krishna tells, Eta vibhuti yogam cha mam yo veti tattvataha sa avikalpena yogena yujyate nastra sanshaya. One who is factually convinced of all these opulence and mystic powers of mind, engage in unalloyed devotional service. Of this there is no doubt. So this word tattvata is very important. Tattvata is like knowing Krishna in truth, knowing the opulences, knowing the vibhutis of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because that helps us to understand properly who is the Supreme Lord and how is He great and how is the source of all creation. So inspired by these verses, Arjuna asked after accepting like Krishna is the supreme Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Param Bhavam. After that, Arjuna asked like how living in this material world I can always think about you. This is 10.17, where Arjuna is asking Katham Vidya Maham Yogam Yogas Tvam Sada Parichintayan Keshu Keshu Cha Bhaveshu Chintyosmi Bhagwan Maya. O Krishna, O Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you and how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of Godhead? So remembering the Supreme Lord is very important. Like in 8th chapter and 7th chapter and before also in 2nd chapter, Krishna has told like you fix your mind and senses on me, you engage all your senses on me, and at the time of death if you remember me then you will come back to me. So Arjuna is asking a very relevant question, like living in this material world we see people around and we see the earth, fire, water, sky, like that. So how I can remember you? Because like with our, unless we are fully purified and we have developed the love of Godhead, we cannot directly see Krishna. So living this material, how I can see Krishna? So to that effect, Krishna tells like how the opulences which are there in the material world actually is coming from me, and these. So then Krishna declares in details. So that is in the printout in the section. I just put the like the summary of this, like how Krishna tells, among the demigods I am the Indra, among the Adityas I am Vishnu, among Maruts I am Marichi, like that. Among the sages I am Vyasa, among the human beings, among the Pandavas I am Dhananjaya, and so question. So like here Krishna is mentioning like how Krishna's opulences are unlimited, and the opulences which are there in the nature and among animals, sages, human beings, and among the laws also, like among the weapon I am the thunderbolt, I am the all devouring, I am the death. So after hearing all these things, Krishna then tells that etam vibhuti yogam cha, that all these actually are opulences. Yeah, Krishna tells that Almighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestation. What I have spoken to you is mere indication of my infinite opulences. So towards the end of the 10th chapter, Krishna is telling, actually, I'm reading from 41, 10.40 and 41. Yad yad vibhuti mat sattvam shrimad urjate meva tattadevav gachatvam mam tejo ansa sambhavam. Know that all opulent, beautiful and glorious creation spring from but a spark of my splendor. And next verse 42, Krishna tells, Athva bahunetena kim gyatena tarjuna vishtabhyam aham idam kritsnam eka ansena sthito jagat. But what need is there, Arjuna, of all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire creation. So that is the ending of the 10th chapter, after describing the whole opulence, like how Krishna is supporting this whole material world, and the all opulence is actually emanating from Krishna. So here Krishna mentioned that this is just by my one of the single fragment of myself. I am all pervading and supporting the entire creation. So continuing in that section, like Arjuna in 11th chapter is asked, like, I would like to see that opulence. I heard about it. I would like to also see. And reason Arjuna is asking is not that Arjuna has some confusion, like Krishna, like Arjuna is not trying to verify or something. Arjuna has full faith. He's already told in 10th chapter that I accept you as you have said. Param Brahma, Param Dhamam, Pavitram Param Bhavan, Pusham Shashvatam Divyam, Adi Deva Jam Vibhu. And also in the next story, Arjuna has mentioned that Sarvam Etam Ritam Manye Yan Mam Vadasi Keshava. So whatever you have told me, I fully accept it. Not just because Arjuna is not accepting it just because he is intimate friend, but he is also giving reason. Like the sages like Asita, Devla, Vyasa, Narada, and like these sages used to come to Pandavas and used to tell the glories of Krishna. So like that, Arjuna is fully convinced about that Lord is the origin of everything, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But still Arjuna is asking to set a criteria for like who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we'll be discussing in detail like what Arjuna is asking and what in the Prabhupada, like Prabhupada in the purports Prabhupada mentions, like the reason for Arjuna to ask Krishna for, like basically request Krishna to show the universal form, and how the devotee's understanding is about the universal form. So this is Vishwarupa Yoga Nama Ekadasha Adhyaya. So chapter 11, universal form. So I'll read from the first verse. Arjuna Vacha Mad Anugraha.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Mayapur Vyari Prabhu.
Sorry to interrupt you, Prabhu. I have one.
Yes, Prabhuji.
I had one question regarding one of the things that you just mentioned.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, you mentioned that by knowing Krishna, all our sins are wiped away.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So can you elaborate, Prabhu? I mean, what does that really mean? I mean, all of us know Krishna in a sense that yes, he is the supreme person.
Yes,
but then the sins, are they wiped away? Or in other words, how should I interpret that the real meaning of this, that, by knowing Krishna, all the sins are wiped away. What does that really, what should I understand from that, Prabhuji?
So
if you can elaborate, please.
Yes, just so that we are on the same page, this is about the verse 10.3. Here Krishna mentioned that one who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless and the supreme Lord of all the worlds. He only undiluted among men is freed from all sins. So and next verse, one of the verse Krishna is telling, one who actually knows me, there is no doubt he will become a devotee, because Krishna opulence is all pervading and one can see hand of Krishna everywhere. So nothing is separate from Krishna. So the definition of Maya in Srimad Bhagavatam is that when we see something as of importance and we are not able to connect it to Krishna, we see it separate. So that is definition of Maya. Exact words are recall is something like anyways. So when we know Krishna properly through Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, then we can able to relate everything with Krishna and we are able to engage everything in service of Krishna, and basically that is one does not have any option but become a devotee. So that is sa avikalpena yogena yujyate nastra sanshaya. One who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mind, engage in unalloyed devotional service. Of this there is no doubt. And different places Krishna tells like how if one know Tatvata, then he will not come back to material world. Janm karam che me divyam evam yoveti tatvata taktva deha punarjanma neti mamati sarjuna. So all like how we can understand how all the sins are destroyed, because process of devotional service is like very blazing fire. By the fire of the devotional service, all the manifested, unmanifested reactions or sins are destroyed. So that also comes in 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where because of sinful reaction, the result of sinful reaction comes and we have to suffer. And that includes manifested, unmanifested, kutam, bijam and falon mukam. And thus how we can get rid of all sins, like for every sin we have to perform some atonement. That is the first path was given by Sukadeva Goswami. But then atonement does not get rid of the kutam or like the desire or proclivities to continue engaging in sinful reaction. And so one may get purified from the sinful reaction, but the proclivity or tendency to commit those still remains. So this is like bad habits, so still the tendency remains. Another is like cultivating jnana, cultivating knowledge about self, material world is temporary, like that. But all the sin can be fully destroyed at root when one perform devotional service. Kinchit kevalya bhaktya vasudeva prayana agham dhunvati kirtnaya. Kirtnaya is like in full. All the sins are in full are destroyed. Niharamev bhaskara. Like the sun rising in the morning, just by rising of the sun, the fogs and everything are destroyed. So what is mean by understanding Krishna is in truth, in understanding the opulence of Krishna, one becomes his devotees. Means one can see like I am the part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and whatever I have intelligence, any abilities or skills, or any opulences which are there in the material world, or somebody is manifesting, somebody is powerful, wealthy, or strength, or beautiful, or knowledgeable, or renounced. So all these opulences are actually coming because Krishna is giving that opulence. So basically that's why Krishna is called all attractive. Sarva akashyati iti Krishna. So basically there, and Krishna has his pastimes, Venu Madhurya and Leela Madhurya and Roop Madhurya and Gun Madhurya are there, which attract the heart of the devotee. So one who knows Krishna as a person and from proper sources, Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, like his heart and like his mind is conquered by the beauty and opulences of Krishna. Actually not so much opulences but the sweetness aspect of Krishna more. So that also comes in 11th chapter, like how Prabhupada mentioned in one of the purport that all the cowherd boys and all the resident of Vrindavan, they don't necessarily know Krishna is the Supreme Lord, because their knowledge of the Lord, they know, but their knowledge is actually covered by the Yogmaya or internal potency. When somebody in the material world does not know the Supreme Lord, his knowledge is covered because of forgetfulness. or like because of the influence of the material nature. So that is not same as the like resident of Vrindavan. Their knowledge is covered by internal potency, Yoga Maya potency. Sometimes Krishna shows the opulence also in Vrindavan. Like sometimes Mother Yashoda sees the whole universe in the mouth of Krishna, or Krishna swallows the fire. Like so, like some pastimes are there like that, or Krishna lifting the Govardhan hill. So then there is a discussion by among the cow herd, like Gopas. They were discussing how Krishna is very amazing child, like how he's doing wonderful pastime, killing Putana, Agasur, Tarnaurta, and so many demons. So, but there's some discussion. It comes, the opulences come a little bit, but then it get covered over by sweetness, by the pastimes of sweetness. So one is factually is sure to become a devotee after knowing the opulence of Krishna and perform devotional service, and that is the fire that destroys all the sinful reaction. So that is my small understanding, probably, like how the sins are destroyed by knowing the Supreme Lord nature. Anybody else would like to comment? Hari Sankirtan? Is that okay, Mayapuri Hari Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, very nice. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. So going to the first verse, Arjuna Vacha Mad Anugrahe Paramam Guhyam Adhyatma Sangitam Yat Tavayoktam Ivachastena Mohyam Vigtomaya. Translation: Arjuna said, by my hearing the instruction you have kindly given me about these most confidential spiritual subjects, my illusion has now been dispelled. So Arjuna tells that how his illusion is dispelled by hearing the opulence or instruction from almost 2nd chapter to 10th chapter. In the beginning, Arjuna was in illusion because he was thinking like after the battlefield everyone will die, and should I fight, not fight. So he was under confusion. He was telling Karpanda dosha pratsabhava pachamidam samudiceta. Because of the miserly weakness, he was not able to understand. Like he forgot the spiritual vision of the seeing that everyone is part and parcel of Krishna and everyone is spirit soul, and he should not give up his duty, perform his duty as a Kshatriya to protect dharma. So by hearing all this instruction, Arjuna illusion is already gone away. And in the purport, Prabhupada mentions that in this chapter, Krishna clearly reveals that this chapter reveals that Krishna is the cause of all causes. He is even the cause of Mahavishnu, from whom the material universes emanate. Krishna is not an incarnation; he is the source of all incarnations. This has been completely explained in the last chapter. So in this chapter, Krishna is going to show the universal form, and after that the four-handed form. And in the universal form, Arjuna sees all the demigods, Brahma, Vishnu, and like Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, everyone he sees. And so Krishna is sitting on the chariot. Arjuna and Krishna both are sitting in chariot. But on the chariot only Arjuna is able to see whole universe and the four-handed form. So that proves that Krishna is the source of all these forms. It's not other way like that. Vishnu is the incarnation of, like Vishnu is the origin of the Supreme Lord. Krishna four-handed form is the origin, and all these forms emanate from Krishna or contained within Krishna. Same thing is there in Srimad Bhagavatam, where the list of incarnation are given in Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd chapter of 1st canto, and towards the end of the list of incarnation, Sud Goswami mentioned that Ete cha kala punsha Krishnastu Bhagavan Sam Indradi Vakulam Lokam Midyanti Yoga. So all these list of incarnation are plenary portion or part of the plenary portions. But Krishna is Bhagavan Swam, like he is the Swam Bhagavan, he is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Krishna is also declared in 7th chapter that Matya Parthanam Nanyat Kaschit Asti Dhananjaya. There is no truth higher than me. So here Krishna is declared and Arjuna accepted, but this is like Krishna is going to show also the universal form in this. So in the purport of first verse, Prabhupada mentions that Arjuna has already said that his illusion is gone away, so he no longer thinks that Krishna is merely human being, so as a friend, but he has proper understanding that Krishna is the source of everything. And this illusion has, so towards the end of this purport, Arjuna agrees to what Krishna has several times said. Krishna is speaking to him just for his benefit. So few times in 7th chapter, 9th chapter, and I think 10th chapter also, Krishna mentioned like, I'm speaking to you this knowledge so that it's for your benefit. And also in 14th chapter, Krishna tells like, you'll become liberated from all miseries. Or 9th chapter, Krishna tells that Raj Vidya Raj Guhyam Pavitra Vidya Paktashyava Gam Dharma Susukam Kartavya Idam Tate Guhyatma Paktashyam Anusuive Jnana Vijnana Saitam Yajgatva Mokshashe Asubhat. You will be liberated from all illusions by hearing this knowledge. So this hearing is very important. By hearing only the doubts are dispelled. By hearing the instructions and the pastimes from Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So going to next verse. Bhavapyo hi bhutanam shruto vistarsho maya tavata kamal patraksha mahat mayam api chavyam. Translation. O lotus-eyed one, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity and have realized your inexhaustible glories. So Arjuna has heard that how Krishna is the source, and everything merges into Krishna during the time of dissolution. In the purport, Prabhupada mentioned like why Arjuna is addressing Krishna as lotus-eyed or Kamal Patraksha. Arjuna is addressing out of joy, and as because like the lotus leaf is not touched by water in a lake. Similarly, Arjuna is reflecting how everything is emanating from Krishna, and Krishna is supporting the whole universe and is all pervading, but is not touched by that. Like he is still aloof from whole material world. So I'm reading from 6th line. Arjuna further knows that in spite of being the source of all appearance and disappearance, he is aloof from them. As the Lord has said in 9th chapter, he is all pervading, yet he is not personally present everywhere. That is inconceivable opulence of Krishna, which Arjuna admits and he has thoroughly understood. So in 9th chapter, 4th and 5th verses, Krishna tells that Maya tadam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina matisthani sarvbhutani na chetaham avasthita. So we can actually refer to 9.4. Maya tadam idam sarvam jagadavakta murtina matisthani sarvbhutani na chaham teshu avasthita. By me in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Next verse, Krishna tells that nacha matisthani bhutani pashya me yoga esharam bhut bhanna cha bhutasto mamatma bhut bhavana. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I am not the part of this cosmic manifestation, for myself is the very source of creation. So although Krishna has created and supporting the whole universe, but he is not, he is still aloof from the material world. That's why Arjuna in joy is with the feeling of joy, he is addressing Krishna as Kamal Patraksha. Next verse, verse 3. Evam etad yathathatvam atmanam parmeshwara drashtu ichhami te rupam eshwaram pushottamam. Translation. O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see you here before me in your actual position, as you have described yourself, I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. So here Arjuna has already is requesting Krishna to has expressed his desire that he would like to see how Krishna is sitting on the chariot, he could see Krishna on the chariot, and at the same time, although Krishna is on the chariot, he is pervading and supporting the whole universe. So in the purport, Prabhupada clearly mentions here the purpose why Arjuna is requesting Krishna to show this universal form. Now as far as Arjuna is concerned, he is inspired by the statement of Krishna, but in order to convince others in future who may think that Krishna is an ordinary person. So Arjuna want to make sure that people have proper understanding of who Krishna is. So that's why he want to show. So for the benefit of everyone. And Arjuna desired to see him actually in his universal form, to see how he is acting from within the universe, although he is apart from it. Arjuna addressing the Lord as Purushottama is also significant. Since the Lord is Supreme Personal of Godhead, he is present within Arjuna himself. Therefore, he knows the desire of Arjuna, and he can understand that Arjuna has no special desire to see him in universal form. For Arjuna is completely satisfied to see him in the personal form of Krishna. So Arjuna as a devotee does not have any special desire. He is satisfied to see Krishna as the original Supreme Lord. But he is asking this for the benefit for everyone, like so that people in the future does not consider Krishna as an ordinary person. And towards the end also in this purport, Prabhupada mentioned that Krishna also understands that Arjuna want to see the universal form to set a criteria for in future there would be many impostors who will pose themselves as incarnation of God. The people therefore should be careful. One who claims to be Krishna should be prepared to show his universal form to convince his claim to the people. So here Arjuna is setting a criteria because in one of the purport Prabhupada mentions because this is the beginning of the parampara, so Arjuna is fulfilling his duty of beginning of the parampara. He is asking to show the universal form, and so that in the future if somebody claims, like in India we see so many people keep coming and telling, no, I'm Kalki incarnation, I'm this incarnation, that incarnation. So they should be prepared to show the universal form. And if they says that I can show but you cannot see, so they should be able to empower people to do it, because Arjuna also could not see, but Krishna actually gave the Divya Didadim Je Chakshu, that will come in next going forward. So Krishna gave the divine vision to Arjuna to show the universal form. Next verse. Manyasi yadi tashakya maya drashtum iti prabho yogeshwara tato me tvam drashya atmana avayam. Translation: If you think that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, a master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that unlimited universal self. So here Arjuna is making a request, not order. Like Arjuna is not ordering, like sometimes atheists order, like God, if you are there, then be present before me. If you don't come, then you do not exist. So there was one person used to be there. He used to claim, I'll count till 1, 2, 3. And if the God is present, let him come here. If not, then he'll not there. Later on he died. There was a thunderbolt and everything. But so God is not the order supplier. Like he's not bound to reveal. He's not obliged to reveal his form unless one surrender onto the Supreme Lord and one is a devotee. So only when the Lord is pleased, Lord can reveal himself to a person. So in the purport, Prabhupada mentioned that all our senses, material senses, we cannot appreciate Krishna. We cannot approach or perceive Krishna. Cannot see, hear, understand or perceive the Supreme Lord by material senses. So this is from a verse that tells us, Sri Krishna Roop Charitadi Sukhi Sitapta Vidya. The verse that Na Bhavet Grahete Mindra Sevan Mukhavi Jivado Sameva Spurtu Vada. Shri Krishna Naam Roop Charitadi. So it tells that the name, form and pastime of the Lord are the material senses cannot appreciate it, But Seven Mukho hi Jivado, when one is saturated with this service attitude or devotional service, then one can, these are revealed to the devotee. And these start from starting engaging our tongue. Seven Mukho hi Jivado, Sameva Spurtu Ada. But if one is engaged in loving transcendental service to the Lord from the beginning, then one can see the Lord by revelation. Another thing, every living entity is only spiritual soul, therefore it is not possible to see or to understand the Supreme Lord. Arjuna as a devotee does not depend on his speculative strength, rather he admits his limitation as a living entity and acknowledges Krishna's inestimable position. Arjuna could understand that for a living entity it is not possible to understand unlimited infinite. If the infinite reveals himself, then it is possible to understand the nature of the infinite by the grace of the infinite. So living entities, because it's Anu and the Lord is Vibhu, he is infinite, and the living entity is infinite small. So it's not within the capacity of the living entity to to comprehend the unlimited potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like in 10th canto, when Brahmaji wanted to test Krishna, he took the cowherd boys. And later on, he himself got confused by his activities. And he started offering prayers to Krishna. And in that, he tells, if the scientists can, even if they can count all the atoms in the universe, but still they cannot reach to the end of the opulences or the glories of the Supreme Lord. So it's not possible by one's own strength or power to know the infinite. But if infinite want to reveal himself, he can certainly do so. So here, that's why Arjuna is approaching with that submissive attitude. So if you think I am able to behold your form, please kindly show me that unlimited universal form. The Lord Yogeshwara, the word Yogeshwara is also very significant here, because the Lord has inconceivable power. If he likes, he can reveal himself by his grace, although he is unlimited. Therefore, Arjuna pleads for the inconceivable grace of Krishna. He does not give Krishna order. Krishna is not obliged to reveal himself unless one surrender fully to Krishna, in Krishna consciousness, and engage in devotional service. Thus, it is not possible for a person who depends on the strength of their mental speculation to see Krishna. So that is the process of devotional service. In other paths like Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Dhyana Yoga, one depends on one's own strengths. One try to do activity and then offer the result. Or Jnana Yoga, one depends on one's own intellectual ability to decipher all the Vedas, grammatical understanding and everything. Or try to make sense out of the scripture like Vedas. And dhyana also one is trying his best to control one's mind and senses, try to focus on the Supreme Lord. But all of these paths become successful only when there is a tinge of bhakti. There is a devotion to Supreme Lord. But the process of devotional service is highest because it does not depend on one's own strength, but it depends on the mercy that is come from the Supreme Lord. So going next, verse 5. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Pashya me partha rupani shatsho tha sahasrasha nana vidhani divyani nana varna kirtani cha. Translation: The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, O son of Partha, see now my opulences, hundreds of thousands of the varied, divine and multicolored forms. So here, actually in that printout, like from 1 to 8 is Arjuna is requesting the and there is a. So now the description of universal form begins from here. So till 8, Krishna is describing the universal form, but at the end, after describing some portion, then Krishna gives the divine vision to Arjuna. So in the purport of this verse, Prabhupada mentioned that this universal form is temporary, not eternal. It's divine, but it is temporary. So I'm reading from the purport. As material nature is manifested and non-manifested, similarly the universal form of Krishna is manifested and non-manifested. Thank you. It is not eternally situated in the spiritual sky like Krishna's other form. As far as devotee is concerned, he is not eager to see the universal form, but because Arjuna wanted to see Krishna in this way, Krishna revealed this form. This universal form is not possible to be seen by any ordinary person. Krishna must give one power to see it. So essential difference between Krishna's two-handed form or a four-handed form is that those forms are eternal. In Vaikuntha planets, the Narayana form, the four-handed form are eternal. But this universal form is connected with the material nature. And because material nature is sometimes manifested and sometimes it's winded up and become unmanifest, similarly universal form also is not eternal, although it is divine.
Prabhu, I had a question.
Yes,
So material form is, the universal form is always like during, currently it's there, or it's only because Arjuna wanted to see Krishna, took that form?
So, as Prabhupada is mentioning here, that when material nature is manifested, this is also there.
Okay.
But when the material nature, like when Mahavishnu breathes in, the whole universe goes inside. So that time it's not manifested. Yeah. So it is there. It is not eternally existing all the time. Correct. So it's subjected to time. Time has influence. But the four-handed and two-handed form are not subjected to time. Like they are transcendental to material realm. They are always there.
So, Prabhuji, when Dhruva was praying, right?
Yeah.
So, what time his form was? It's the same form what he's given to Arjuna?
Dhruva.
Yeah, where? Dhruva Maharaj when we are...
yeah.
Yeah, so...
So, their four-handed form of Vishnu came actually. That was Narayana form. Yeah. So, verse 6. Pasya Adityan Vasuna Rudran Pasya Adityan Vasuna Rudran Ashvino Marutas Tatha Bahanya Drashtur Purvani Pasya Acharyani Bharata. Translation. O best of Bharatas, see here the different manifestations of Aditya, Vasus, Rudras, Ashwini Kumaras, and all of the demigods. Behold the many wonderful things which no one have ever seen or heard of before. So here clearly Krishna is telling that this universal form no one else has before seen or heard of. So one time when Krishna went as a Santi Dut, as a peace messenger to Kauravas, to Dhritarashtra, so that time Arjuna wanted to bind Krishna, like because he was determined. Duryodhana wanted to, like because we're reading Arjuna is coming. So Duryodhana wanted to bind Krishna, and he has already declared his hostility and war was sure. So he was thinking like, even before the war began, I'll bind Krishna, and then that's how Arjuna, like the Pandavas' forces will weaken, something like that. So he tried, but then there Krishna manifested his universal form, but that is a partial universal form. It was not full fledged universal form. So in this, while the description of universal form is there is a, including that is a Kala Rupa form also. So both are going to be there. There is a picture actually in the, can we see which page? In the, yeah, what is the plate number? Yeah. So in the universal form, Krishna shows the Kala Rupa form also, where Krishna is devouring everything. So that things especially was not there when it was shown to Arjuna. And also among the universal form, only some parts were there, not whole. So here Krishna is telling like in this universal form, the manifestation of Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashwini Kumaras. So all the demigods are the part and parcel of the Lord, we can see. Like because they are part of this form. Next, verse 7. Yes, sir.
It says like this wonderful thing in the translation, which no one has ever seen or heard before.
Yeah.
So is it something like it was never heard before 5,000 years ago? What is this?
That's what Krishna tells. Is,
That's how it is.
pardon me?
I mean, this is the first time.
As far as I know, I have not also heard about anywhere where Krishna has talked about the universal form. There are descriptions, in second canto, there is a description of the universal form in Bhagavatam.
So he is talking to only with respect to this universe, or just the whole.
That's my
Brahman?
understanding, but we can check it actually. So here, if we go ahead, Arjuna sees the Brahma, and then he sees all the planet system, and he sees the Garbhadaksai, Vishnu, and Nagas and everything, Divya Nagas. And so this is one universe that Krishna is showing, not all the universes. That's my understanding, but we can check. So next verse, 7th, Krishna tells, Ihe ka stham jagat krishnam pasyadya sacharacharam mam deha gudakesha ya chanyad drashtum ichhasi. O Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see and whatever you may want to see in the future. Everything moving and non-moving is here completely in one place. So in this form, Arjuna can see everything in the past, present and future. So in the beginning, Arjuna was thinking like, what will happen to these warriors? So many people will die. So that thing also Arjuna will be able to see going forward. He will see the future destiny of all the warriors. And Arjuna was having this concern like so many people will die. So by seeing this universal form, one of the purpose Krishna is fulfilling is already showing the destiny of so many warriors and Karna, Drona, Karna and Bhishmapitama, everyone. How everyone is destined to be finished by this Kal Rupa form. So it's not that Arjuna by not fighting he will save them from death. If it is ordained by the Supreme Lord himself before, so that is going to happen. Either Arjuna will do or it will happen some other means. So that's what will come when later on Arjuna is going to ask like, who are you, what is your mission, what is your purpose? Because Arjuna knows he is Supreme Personality, like Krishna, my friend, is there. But when Krishna showed the universal form, he got in a wonder and little fear also and joy also. So lot of emotions are there. And that time he's asking like, who are you, what is your mission, why you are here, like that. So Krishna tells, I'm in the time, I'm the all devourer of the whole world. So just become my instrument. I'm the so that future aspect will also be there, that Kal Rupa form. When Duryodhana was shown, that form was that part was not there in that. No one can see the entire universe while sitting in one place. Even the most advanced scientist cannot see what is going on in other part of the universe. But a devotee like Krishna can see everything that exists in any part of the universe. Krishna gave him the power to see anything he wants to see in past, present and future. Thus, by mercy of Krishna, Arjuna is able to see everything. So Prabhupada is mentioning, by sitting in one place, even if one can use all the technology and put camera all over the universe and put screens, in front of him, what is going in all the countries, still one cannot see even the screens at one point of time. But by the inconceivable potency of the Supreme Lord, Arjuna was able to perceive everything in one sitting. And this all is happening when Krishna is on the chariot. So here the word is used, Iha eka stham, in one place. So in one place he was able to see all the universe. So Jiva Goswami tells like, it's very difficult to understand Supreme Lord. One cannot conceive the Supreme Lord. But when we understand that Lord has inconceivable potencies, so these are things which are not conceivable. We cannot understand how in one place he could see everything. But these are the inconceivable potencies of the Lord. So first thing to understand the Lord is that we cannot understand him. Then we can understand him. Because then when we become humble and one can actually receive the mercy.
Prabhuji, here like he mentioned, but a devotee like Arjuna, right?
Yes.
So means any devotee can see the universe, or what do you think?
Where are you referring? Sorry, this is third line. No?
So,
but a devotee like Arjuna can see everything that exists in any part of the universe. Yes, Prabhu.
So the question is like other devotee can also, if they are devotee, right? So they can visualize the universe
Yeah,
effectively, right?
like Arjuna, they can, yes. If Krishna wishes them to.
But
Yeah.
the question is asked before that, like Arjuna is doing on the behalf of the universe, mankind, right? He wanted to see the universal form of the Lord, right? Now here, the devotee like Arjuna,
Yeah.
right? So, I mean, my question is like...
So, to be a devotee like Arjuna, one has to practice devotional service, come to that level. And then, once we come there, then we don't have attraction to universal form. Although we may sometimes request and see it, and Krishna, if he is willing, he can show also. But there is no demand. Yeah, go ahead.
There are two parts to this. One is like, first thing is Krishna is showing the universal form. And even if he shows the universal form, like when he's like, the explanation was that when he showed in the palace of the Dhritarashtra, nobody could see it because he didn't give the vision for the others to see it. Even though a lot of, but here he's giving the vision to Arjuna to see the universal form as it is, and he can see the whole universal, as we'll read in the further verses what all he can see at one time. So that's what Prabhupada is mentioned in purport, that he can see, even like a devotee can, like Arjuna can see that with the grace of Krishna.
Yes.
But no ordinary person can, because there are so many people in that battlefield. There are 18 Akshayunas of, totally that many people were there, but not everybody could see, only Arjuna could see. There were other devotees like Yudhishthira, there were other devotees like Nakula, Sahadeva, but not, only Arjuna could see that universal form. So that's why he's telling that, Arjuna.
So one can perceive it by mercy by grace of Krishna. So grace of Krishna comes to those who are his devotees, because he is not obliged to give to anybody and everybody. Whoever he is, Krishna would like to reveal, he can reveal. So there's a meaning. Yeah.
Going back to the original question, like Dhruva, right?
Yeah.
He also see the form of the Lord.
Correct.
Whether it's Narayana or...
Yes.
So, but he see the form of the Lord. That is give the satisfaction. Once, not satisfaction in the sense like that is the desire, right?
Yes.
Right? So, but they saw the universal.
Because
form.
it's not that Dhruv saw by his austerity only, because the Lord himself decided to reveal himself. So then wherever Lord want to reveal, he can reveal. We cannot force like the Supreme Lord. Demigods, it happens like demigods, if you do particular worship, they are obliged to send the result. But Krishna is not bound. He's called a Saurat or independent, fully independent. But the thing is, the process of devotional service attracts Krishna, and by his own free will, he becomes subordinate and want to please his devotees. So there is a transcendental competition between the devotees and the Supreme Lord. That Lord want to serve the devotee, and devotee want to serve the Lord. So that we have to go there, and there the dynamics changes because it's no longer like demands. It becomes want to serve each other. It does make sense. Next, 8, verse 8. Netu mam sakyasi drashtum anenev sav chakshusa divyam dadami te chakshu pashyam me yogama eswaram. Translation. But you cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore, I give you the divine vision, divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulences. So it's a very nice purport of Prabhupada, which summarizes the verses we covered till now. A pure devotee does not like to see Krishna in any form except his form with two hands. A devotee must see his universal form by his grace, not with the mind but with the spiritual eyes. To see the universal form of Krishna, Arjuna is told not to change his mind but his vision. The universal form of Krishna is not very important because that will be declared in the subsequent verses. Yet because Arjuna wanted to see it, the Lord gives him the particular vision required to see the universal form. Devotees who are correctly situated in the transcendental relationship with Krishna are attracted by the loving feature, not by the godless display of opulences. So, because Arjuna is a devotee, he is situated he has a vision of love. Like in one of the verses in Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma is praying, Premanjana Churit Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadev Hirdayeshu Vilogyanti Yam Sham Shundar Michinta Guna Sarupam Govinda Madhi Purusham Dhamma Bhajami. So the devotees whose eyes are tinged with the salve of love, they can see the Lord everywhere. They can see the Lord within himself in the heart, and they can see everywhere also. Vyoma pashyati sarvat sarvam cha me pashyati tasya ham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati. So the pure devotees have this vision. This is Prem Chakshu, and this is Divya Chakshu. So the devotee who had this Prem Chakshu is they don't like to they don't have desire to see the universal form. The reason is because they cannot reciprocate the loving dealings, or loving reciprocation cannot happen with the universal form. So they are not much attracted to the universal form. So in the purport next section, Prabhupada mentions how the devotees in Vrindavan, playmates of Krishna, friends of Krishna, parents of Krishna, never want to see Krishna to show, never want Krishna to see his opulences. They are so immersed in the pure love they do not even know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In their loving exchanges, they forget that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. In the Srimad Bhagavatam is stated that the boys who play with Krishna are all highly pious souls, and after many, many births, they are able to play with Krishna. Such boys do not know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They take him as a personal friend. Therefore, Sukadeva Goswami recites the verse, Itham Sattam Brahma Sokhanubhutya Dasyam Gatanam Paradevatena Maya Shritanam Nardarakena Sakam Vijaharu Kirta Punya Punja. Here is the Supreme Lord, who is considered the impersonal Brahman by the great sages, the Supreme Personal Godhead by devotees, and a product of material nature by the ordinary men. Now these boys who have performed many, many pious activities in their past lives are playing with that Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the good fortune, great fortune of the playmates of Krishna is declared here. Like after acclimating so many pious activities, they are having the good fortune to play with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And they may not be aware of the opulence of the Lord, not because of forgetfulness, because their knowledge is covered by the internal potency. So in the next paragraph also, Prabhupada mentions how Arjuna is asking to show this universal form, so that in the future people could understand the Krishna not just theoretically or philosophically, but that Krishna has himself presented himself to Arjuna. Arjuna must confirm this because Arjuna is the beginning of Parampara system. So Arjuna is fulfilling his duty as the beginning of the Parampara, is setting the criteria for who should be accepted as the Supreme Lord himself. So going to next verse. Sanjaya Vacha Eva Muktva Tato Rajan Mahayogeshwaro Hari Drashyamasa Parthaya Param Rupameshwaram. Sanjaya said, O king, having spoken thus, the Supreme Lord of all mystic power, the Personality of Godhead, displayed his universal form to Arjuna. So after Krishna has given the Divya Chakshu, the divine vision, Arjuna is able to see the universal form. So we can see even Sanjaya was able to see this universal form because Sanjaya was given the vision by Vedvyas. So Sanjaya is describing what Krishna saw on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Anek Vaktram Nayanam, Anek Adbhut Darshanam, Anek Divya Bharnam, Divya Aneko Yatayudham, Divya Malya Bardharam, Divya Gandhanulepanam, Sarvashcharam Mayam Devam Anantam Vishto Mukham. Arjuna saw in that universal form unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. The form was decorated with many celestial ornaments and bore many divine upraised weapons. He wore celestial garlands and garments, and many divine scents were smeared over his body. All was wondrous, brilliant, and unlimited, and all expanding. So Arjuna, by mercy of the Supreme Lord, was able to see sitting in one place. He could see all the unlimited mouths, eyes, visions and everything. So we can see that in the palette, some vision. So next one, Devi Surya Sahasrasya Bhaved Yugapadyuttata Yadi Bhasadrshi Sasyad Bhasas Tasya Mahatmana. If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. So what Arjuna saw was indescribable, but Sanjay is trying to compare or give a mental picture of what was revealed to Arjuna to Dhritarashtra so that one can comprehend. So there's an analogy given here of hundred of thousands of sun at once to rise in the sky. So we can see sometimes in the afternoon sun, if we look at the sun, you cannot see the disk because you see the just effulgence only. But to speak of 2, 10, 100 or 1,000 suns. So one can imagine, like, get some understanding of what was about the vision. But it's not exactly the same. There was much more. When we give an analogy, we cannot really describe the divine things. But we give some comparison. Like sometimes Lord Krishna is Ghanisham, like the color of the black clouds or monsoon black clouds. But it's not exactly like that color. There is something more. But this is the nearest comparison to understanding the color of the Lord. So here Prabhupada mentioned what Arjuna saw was indescribable, but Sanjay is trying to give a mental picture so that revealed to Dhritarashtra. Thus he now compares the situation as far as it can be understood to an imaginable phenomena, thousands of the sun. Next verse. Tatrekastam jagat krishnam pabhi bhaktam anekata apaschad deva devasya sarire pandavas tata. At that time, Arjuna could see in the universal form of the Lord the unlimited expansions of universe situated in one place, although divided into many, many thousands. Tatra again this word used, ekastham, in one place. So both Arjuna and Krishna were sitting on the chariot, and Arjuna was seeing the universal form here. And in that universal form, he could see many, many planets. And Vedic scripture talk about some of the planets made of the earth, gold, jewel, and some are very great, some are not so great. So he could perceive all these things just by sitting on the chariot. Next verse.
By this verse, does it mean that he could see other universes also? Because
no, in one universe there may be many planets also, right?
Yeah, okay. So it's more than the 10 planets we know.
14 planets, sister. There are many. There are many other Rahu, Ketus, and so many other. There are many sub-planet system. I'm just trying to defend that vision, like it's within the universe. So it can be many like gold, silver, great, not so great, and great. But we still have to confirm is what like whole every universe is, because every universe is also unlimited.
Yeah,
so
we never heard in Bhagavatam that there's planets made of gold or something, right?
There are places like
we have heard about like
Milk
ocean and nectar ocean, all those, but never heard of planets made of gold and silver. So that's why
Sumeru is made of the gold. Whole Sumeru is made of the gold, and there is.
Purport. I mean, just to give an idea of what all you could see.
Yeah. These are like infinite. It's beyond understanding. So I can really come. Yeah.
So Prabhuji, is there a counting of the planets other than the 14 planets in the universe? I mean, how
is there any counting of?
Yeah, I mean,
not that I have heard of. It's unlimited.
Unlimited.
These are the main.
That's a known, yeah. But in the single universe, what is the other count?
Even the Buddha, Rahu, Ketu, all these things are also planets only. But
so what is their total?
So these are grahas. We don't know. These are like demigods. 33 crore demigods. But each of the demigods can have their own planets also. But there may be much more. Like there are meteors and everything. I don't think we can count it. At least we don't see any counting as such. Yes.
I heard that planets are different from planetary system.
Yeah.
Planetary system is a plane where there are 14 planetary systems. Higher planetary systems have different planets, many planets it can be.
Okay.
And in those planets there are a lot of opulences one by one, like as planetary system is increasing and the standard of living is high and demigods live there. And lower planetary systems also. And at the planetary system, the 7th middle planetary system also consists of many planets. Yeah. So that is what I heard. Makes sense, planets are different from planetary systems.
Nice one. Thank you. So let's go forward. 14th verse. Tata se vishmya vishto hasht roma dhananjaya parnamaya sirisha devam kitanjalir bhashata. Then bewildered and astonished, his hair standing on end, Arjuna bowed his head to offer obeisances and with folded hands began to pray to the Supreme Lord. So Arjuna is friend has a relationship of friendship, Sakhya, but he's changing to wonder, like his bhava is changing to wonder by seeing this universal form. So in purport, Prabhupada mentioned, once the divine vision was revealed, the relation between Krishna and Arjuna changed immediately. Arjuna and Krishna had a relation of friendship, and then after revelation, Arjuna started offering obeisances with respect and folded hand. He's praying to Krishna. So next, in the scripture there are 12 basic kind of relationship mentioned, and all of them are present in Krishna. It is said that he is the ocean of all relationship exchange between two living entities, between the gods and between the Supreme Lord and his devotees. So we know 5 main primary rasas, from Santarasa to Dasya to Sakhya, Vasalya and Madhurya rasa. And there are 7 secondary rasas. So one of them is like wonder, and later on the fear is also come. And ghastliness. So ghastliness is also one of the fear. And other like anger, lamentation, comedy and bravery. These are also like one of the sub secondary rasas. So total are 12. So going to next verse. Arjuna Vacha Pashyami devas tav deva dehe sarvas tatha bhut vishesha shangan Brahmanamisham kamlasanastham Rishischa sarvan uruganscha divyan. Arjuna said, my dear Lord Krishna, I see assembled in your body all the demigods and various other living entities. I see Brahma sitting on the lotus flower, as well as Lord Shiva and all the sages and divine serpents. So in the purport, Prabhupada mentions like Arjuna could see Brahma sitting on the lotus flower, Kamlas on his thumb, and then he could see the divine serpents. So that is Vasuki, the snake bed of Lord Garbhadaksha Vishnu. So from there only I was thinking like it's just one verse, universe. Arjuna sees everything in the universe, therefore he sees Brahma, who is the first creature in the universe, and the celestial serpents upon which the Garbhadaksha Vishnu lies in the lower region of universe. This snake bed is called Vasuki. There are also other snakes known as Vasuki. Arjuna could see from the Garbhadaksha Vishnu up to the topmost part of the universe on the lotus flower. On the lotus flower planet where Brahma, the first creature of the universe, resides. So all these things Arjuna could see just sitting on the chariot itself. Next verse. Yes.
Do you know why it's called Vasuki and not Anantasesh? It's known that he's residing on Anantasesh, right? I mean, he's on the bed, but why is it called Vasuki?
Naga Nam, like Krishna tells, I'm on the Nagas, I'm the Vasuki. But Papa, this
is Anantas. On the serpents, I'm Vasuki, and of the Nagas, I'm Ananta.
I'm the Ananta, okay. Here Papa mentioned there are many other snakes known as Vasuki. So seems like Vasuki is... That is Ananta. Yeah, Anantasesh. So Anantasesh is the like Lord Balaam expansion, and like the bed of Lord Vishnu. Here Prabhupada is mentioning like this Vasuki, like the divine serpents. Here is mentioning to snake bed is called Vasuki. So seems like Vasuki is used for different. There is a Vasuki, snake Vasuki, but even the Anantasesh is also called Vasuki. Seems like something to be clarified.
Prabhu, just to ask this, scientific planets like Mercury, Venus, Earth, how are they related to this? Are they in our planetary system, Earth planetary system?
Yeah, that's what I have heard. Like there is I'm not sure here, but there is a Vedic planetarium. In that there is a whole like the relative positioning of all the planets are given. So Earth and all these are near only, like Earth and all these things. So even Bhavar and Swarg is higher than all these planets. There is a section online also you can find Vedic planetarium. There's a whole how far is the moon and the sun and everything. Yeah.
Prabhu, my question was that from Garbhadaksha Vishnu the lotus comes and Brahma is seated on the lotus.
Correct.
So the other planets, are they inside the stem?
They are situated along the stem. That's what I heard. like along the stem, may not be inside the stem. I'm not sure what is inside or outside.
Okay.
But another, like we may not see this as our, like just we have seen lotus stems and everything. Is that the same kind of stem or is different stem? We don't know. And what is inside, what is outside. So yeah. So when Bhagavatam is giving the description, only thing we are missing is the point of reference, where it is being told. I mean, so that is why it's difficult to correlate everything with our vision only all the time. So going to 16th, Anek bahu durvaktra netram pashyami tvam sarto anantarupam nantam na madhyam na punastavadim pashyami vishveshwara vishwarupa. O Lord of the universe, universal form, I see your body, many, many arms, bellies, mouths and eyes, expanded everywhere, without limit. I see in you no end, no middle or end, no beginning. Purport. Krishna is the Supreme Personal Godhead and is unlimited. And thus, through him, everything could be seen. So, there is some repetition in this verse and going forward also when Arjuna is... So, this is the vision of Arjuna, what he is seeing. He is seeing unlimited number of arms, bellies, mouth and eyes. So, that get repeated a little bit more. And there is no beginning, middle and end. So, in the prayers also, Arjuna is going to offer this. So in one of the purport, Baba mentioned these repetition are not some literally weakness, but this is because Arjuna is in that wonder. So he is praying all the time, like how it is has no beginning. You cannot see any beginning, middle, and end of these things. Next verse: Kritinam gadinam chakrinam cha tejo ransi savto deeptimantam pashyami tvam durniraksha samantad deepta nalarkar Yutiya Premeyam. Your form is difficult to see because of its glaring effulgence, spreading on all sides, like blazing fire, unmeasurable radiance of the sun. Yet I see this glowing form everywhere, adorned with various crowns, club, and discs. So Arjuna is able to see the many heads which are having the crowns with clubs and discs, and is giving the analogy as with the radiance of the sun, many radiance of the sun. So next one, tam aksharam paramam vyetitavyam tamasya vishwasya param nidhanam tam avvaya shashwat dharma gopta sanatanam tam pusho matome. You are the supreme primal objective. You are the ultimate resting place of all this universe. You are inexhaustible and you are the oldest. You are maintainer of eternal religion or personality of Godhead. The personality of Godhead. This is my opinion. So Arjuna is trying to, or like Sanjay is speaking here. So Sanjay is praying how the Lord is actually the supreme personality of Godhead, because it's the rest of the whole universe. Question. Oh, sorry. Arjuna Vacha, yeah. So Sanjay is describing the prayers of Arjuna, or like Arjuna's description of the universal form. So Arjuna is praying how the Krishna is the supreme personal Godhead, because he is resting, ultimate resting of the universe, is inexhaustible, is oldest, and maintainer of the eternal religion. Next. Anadi madhyam ananta viryam. Anadi madhyam madhyantam. Yeah. Anadi madhyantam ananta viryam ananta bahu shashishurya netram pashyami tvam dipti huta sasavaktram savtejisa vishwam idam tapantam. Translation. You are without origin, middle or end. Your glory is unlimited. You have numberless arms, and the sun and the moon are your eyes. I see you with blazing fire coming from your mouth, burning this entire universe by your own radiance. So this is the beginning of the Kal Rupa, where Arjuna is seeing the blazing fire coming from the mouth of the Lord. Later in the mouth, Lord is going to devour like so many warriors. So, and Arjuna is also comparing how the sun and moon are the eyes of the Supreme Lord. That is the description in when in the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a description of the universal form. There also it says like sun and moons are the eyes. And Brahm Samhita has this verse, Ya chakshu esha savita sakla grahana raja samas murti asesha teja yasyagya bhamati samrit kal chakra govinda mahadi purusham thamam bhajami. So the king of all the planets, the sun is the eye of the universe, and is regulating all the other planets. Purport: there is no limit to the extent of the six opulences of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here and in many other places there is repetition, but according to scriptures, the repetition of glories of Krishna is not a literary weakness. It is said that at the time of bewilderment or wonder or of great ecstasy, the statements are repeated over and over. This is not a flaw. Dava aparthi vayoridam antaram hi vayaptam tavekena disascha sarva drashtvad bhutam rupa ugram tavedam lokatram parvathitam mahatman. Although you are one, you spread throughout the sky and the planets and all space between. O great one, seeing this wondrous and terrible form, all the planetary systems are perturbed. So here Arjuna mentions like how not only he could see the universal form, the many demigods in the higher planets were given the vision to perceive this universal form. So what Arjuna saw was not some dream or bewilderment or something like that. He saw actual thing, and many demigods were also seeing many of the Lokatrayam Parvathit Mahatmana. So like after this, like 3-4 verses going ahead is describing what is their state in the, like when demigods or these higher beings are seeing this universal form, what is their state and how they are responding to this universal form. Divya Parvathir, the space between the heaven and earth. Lokatram, the 3 words, are significant words in this verse because it appears that not only did Arjuna see the universal form of the Lord, but others in the other planetary systems saw it also. Arjuna seeing the universal form was not a dream. All whom the Lord endowed with the divine vision saw the universal form on the battlefield. So, because Arjuna was given and Krishna has given vision to few more people in the higher planetary system, so they could also see that universal form. Whoever was endowed with this divine vision. Next verse. Ami hitvam surasanga vishanti kechid bhita panjalyo gananti svasti ukta maharshi siddha sangha stuvanti tvam stubhir pushkalabhi. All the host of demigods are surrendering before you. So demigods are surrendering and entering into you. Some of them, very much afraid, are offering prayers with folded hands. Host of the great sages and perfected beings crying, all peace, all are praying to you by singing the Vedic hymns. The demigods in the planetary system fear the terrible manifestation of the universal form and its glaring effulgence, and so praying for protection. So demigods are surrendering and offering prayers, and the sages and rishis are offering swasti mantras. Like these are Vedic hymns, they are offering the Vedic hymns to the universal form. So everyone is perturbed and they are like praying, all peace, let it there be peace, trying to pacify the universal form. Next verse. Rudra Aditya Vashvo Yascha Sadhya Vishvesh Naro Vishveshano Marutas Choshma Pansha Gandharva Yaksha Shursiddha Sangha Vishanti Tvam Vishvitas Cheva Sarve. All the various manifestations of Lord Shiva Adityas, Vasus, the Sadhyas and the Vishve Devas and the 2 Ashvis, the Maruts, the forefathers, the Gandharvas, the Yakshas and the Asuras and perfected demigods are beholding you in wonder. Next verse. Rupam Mahate Bahuvaktra Netram Mahabaho Bahubahur Urupadam Bahudram Bahudamastra Karalam Drashtva Loka Pravithistas Tathatham. O mighty armed one, all the planets with their demigods are disturbed at seeing your great form. With its many faces, eyes, arms, thighs, legs, and bellies, and your many terrible teeth, and they are disturbed, so am I. So Arjuna is describing how the demigods, so many Adityas, Vasus, Indra, Sadhya, Vishudeva, Ashwini, Maruts, everyone is perturbed, and Arjuna is also perturbed. So slowly the rasa is changing from wonder to fear by seeing the Kal Rupa form. Next one. Nabha sprasham diptam anek varnam vayatananam dipta vishal netram drashtva hitam pravithyantaratma ditim vidami shamam cha Vishnu. All pervading Vishnu, seeing you with your many radiant colors touching the sky, your gaping mouths, and your great glowing eyes, my mind is perturbed by fear. I can no longer maintain my steadiness or equilibrium of mind. So Arjuna is saying like his mind is, he's not able to maintain the equilibrium or steadiness, and is getting fearful from the form.
Any idea why he is referring to Krishna as O Vishnu and not Krishna at this point in verse?
So Vishnu is all pervading because so different words is used here. Is the same person. Krishna and Vishnu is not different person. It's the same person, but their mood are different. Like the way their how the manifestation of like Vishnu having Sankhchagata Padma, so he could see like the all-pervading aspect of the Lord. So that is more closer to Vishnu. Yeah. When Krishna is Arjuna refers sometimes to Madhusudana, killer of the demon. So Vishnu only killed, but here he is having the doubt, and he's asking, imploring Krishna to kill this doubt, demon of the doubt. So he had some Madhusudana. Like the different names are used, Rishikesha, Govinda, Madhusudana. So there is a purpose behind it. Similarly, Vishnu is used like he's all seeing the all-pervading form of the Lord. Next one. Damashta karalani te mukhani drashteva kalanal sannibhani disho na jane na labhe cha sarma prasidha devesha jagan nivasha. O Lord of the Lords, O refuge of the worlds, please be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance, seeing thus your blazing death-like faces and awful teeth. In all direction I am bewildered. So Arjuna is accepting that he is bewildered by seeing this form and not able to keep the balance by death-like faces and awful teeth. So the word used here is Kala Nal Sannibhani. So Anal is like fire. Kala Nal is like the fire that comes at the time of devastation. So it's the word, the translation, fire of death. So he could see the fire coming from the mouth of the Lord, and it looks like the fire of devastation and the terrible teeth. Just by seeing that, he was bewildered. Arjuna was bewildered by seeing this form. So next, he sees so many warriors who are going to be devoured by this Kala Rupa form. Ami chatvam dhartarashtra putra sarve saveva nipal sange Bhishmo drona sutra putras tathaso sahasam diyerapi yodha mukhe vaktrani te tam tvarmana vishanti damashta karalani bhayanikani kechid vilagna dashantareshu sandarshiyante churniter udrutamange. All the sons of Dhritarashtra along with their allied kings and Bhishma, Drona, Karna and our chief soldiers also are rushing into your fearful mouths. And some I see trapped with heads smashed between your teeth. So Arjuna is able to see the ghastliness nature of the Supreme Lord, like how he's devouring, the Kala Rupa is devouring all the warriors on both the sides of the army. And although Bhishma was actually an unconquerable warrior, he's very powerful, so there was a doubt whether like having Bhishma, Duryodhana was very confident because nobody can defeat him. But with this Kala Rupa form, Krishna is showing even the Bhishma is going to be destroyed. Drona and Sutapustra, means like all these powerful warriors like Karna, Drona and Bhishma are going to be destroyed. What do you speak of other warriors? Arjuna sees the leader of the opposite army, Bhishma, Drona and Karna, and all the sons of Dhritarashtra and the soldier. Arjuna's own soldiers are being annihilated. So in the previous section we saw like Krishna told like you can see everything in the past, present and future also. Future occurrences was able to see here in the universal form. Arjuna will emerge victorious. It is mentioned that here the Bhishma who is supposed to be the unconquerable will be smashed. So also Karna. Not only will the great warriors of other party like Bhishma will be smashed, but some of the great warriors of Arjuna sides also. Next one. Yada nadina bhavambuvega samudram eva bhimukha tatha tavami narloka vira vishanti vaktranye abhivijvalanti. As the many waves of the river flow into the ocean, so do all these great warriors enter blazing into your mouths. So analogy is given like the rivers is by their flow of water enter into ocean. Similarly, all these warriors are like entering into the all-devouring mouth of the Lord. Next one. Yatha pradipta jalanam patanga vishanti nashaya samudvega tathe vinashaya vishanti lokas tvapi vaktrani samudvega. I see all people rushing full speed into your mouths as moths dash in destruction in a blazing fire. So there are two analogies are given. One is like river entering into ocean. Another like the moths dash into the blazing fire. Sometimes we see in the night the moths, they like the fireflies, they rush on the tube light something and they fall and they get killed. So there are two kind of warriors who are going. One is going because they're performing their duty, like Bhishma and Drona. They're going because they're performing their duty. So it's compared to the natural flow of the rivers into ocean. But there are few who are actually deciding themselves to destroy themselves, like this Dhritarashtra and other people. They're themselves making a choice to be devoured because they're going by performing the acts of adharma. They're rushing towards destruction by this Kala Rupa form. So they're compared to the moths going to be destroyed by the blazing fire. Next one. Laliya se krasamana samanta lokan samargan vadne jaladibhi tejo bhiraupya jagat samagram bhasast ogra patapanti Vishnu. Oh Vishnu, I see you devouring all people from all sides with your flaming mouths, covering all the universe with your effulgence. You are manifest with terrible and scorching rays. So Arjuna is describing the all-devouring form of the Lord here, which is like everywhere there is a flaming mouth and how Lord is devouring everything. Akhyahi meko bhavanugru rupa namastute deva vara pradisa vigyatum ichhami bhantamadhyam nahi pajanami tvam pavittim. O Lord of the Lords, so fierce of form, please tell me who you are. I offer my obeisance unto you. Please be gracious to me. You are the primal Lord. I want to know about you, for I do not know what your mission is. So Arjuna knows he is Krishna. Krishna is showing the universal form, but at this time he is fully like puzzled by why the Lord is here. It's like if you have a friend, very intimate friend, we are going along with him for many years, taking dinner together, so. But then one day if we see he's a president of United States or something, like some very opulent person, we'll say, who are you? Why you are with me? And what is the purpose? What is your mission? Why you are going? So Arjuna is asking, puzzled by the opulence of the Lord. So Lord in the universal form is answering this question, who he is, why he is here, and what is the mission he has. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Kaloshmi Lokshya Krit Pravaddo Lokan Samahartum Iha Pavatta Ritepi tvam na bhavishanti sarve yovasthita pratyanikeshu yodha. The Supreme Personal of Godhead said, time I am, the great destroyer of the worlds, and I have come here to destroy all people. With the exception of you, the Pandavas, all soldiers here on both sides will be slain. Purport. Arjuna knew that Krishna is his friend and Supreme Personal Godhead. He was puzzled by various forms exhibited by Krishna. Therefore, he asked further about the actual mission of this devastating force. So next there is a reference from Katha Upanishad where it said that everyone is devoured by the Supreme Lord. And then going to next paragraph, Arjuna was not in favor of the fight. He thought it's better not to fight. Then there will be no frustration. In reply, Lord is saying that even if he did not fight, every one of them would be destroyed. For that was his plan. If the Arjuna stopped fighting, they would die. They would die in another way. Death could not be checked, even if he did not fight. In fact, they were already dead. Time is destruction, and all the manifestations were to be vanquished by the desire of the Supreme Lord. This is the nature of this is the law of nature. Next one. Tasmad uttishta yasho labhatsva jitva satrunsha bhunksha rajyam samardam mayevete nihata purvam evam nimitta matra bhavasavya sachin. Therefore get up, prepare to fight and win glory. Conquer your enemies and enjoy the flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement. And you, the Savasachi, can be but an instrument in the fight. So in the purport, Bhagavan mentions Savasachi refers to the person who is very expert warrior. And it means like one who can fight with the left arm and right arm both. So very ambidextrous person. So Krishna is telling like they already have been destined to die, and if you can use your abilities, you will just become an instrument. So that is the best use of your skills and abilities. The whole world is moving according to the plan of the Supreme Personal Godhead. The foolish who do not have sufficient knowledge think that nature is moving without a plan, and all manifestation but accidental manifestations. And the so-called scientists who suggest that perhaps it may be like this or maybe like that, there is no question of perhaps and maybe. So Papa is very nicely smashing the speculative scientist here. There is a specific plan being carried out in this material world. What is the plan? Something to memorize here, this next two lines. This cosmic manifestation is a chance for the conditioned soul to go back home, back to Godhead, back to home. As long as they have domineering mentality which makes them try to lord over material nature, they are conditioned. But anyone who can understand the plan of the Supreme Lord and cultivate Krishna consciousness is most intelligent. Who is most intelligent? Who can understand the plan of the Lord? The creation and destruction of the cosmic manifestation are under the superior guidance of the Lord. Thus the battle of Kurukshetra was fought according to the plan of the Lord. Arjuna was refusing to fight, but he was told that he should fight in accordance with the desire of the Supreme Lord. Then he would be happy. If one is in full Krishna consciousness, then his life is devoted to Krishna, transcendental service, he is perfect. So towards the end of this chapter, Krishna concludes this by saying that mat karma karma, mat parmo, mat bhakta sangha vivarjita. So one who is doing the mat karma is like my work. And here Krishna is telling him like become an instrument to fight. Next verse. Dronam cha bhishwam cha jayadratam cha karnam tathanya yodha viran maya hatas tvam jahima vithishta yuddes vajitesi rane sapatnan. Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna and other great warriors have already been destroyed by me. Therefore kill them, do not be disturbed. Simply fight and you will vanquish your enemies in battle. So here the one more warrior is included in the list. Drona, Bhishma and Karna was there before, and Jayadrath is also included here. So Jayadrath is not such a powerful warrior as Bhima, Drona and Karna, but he has worshipped Lord Shiva and got a boon that at least once he will be able to overpower the Pandavas. So that's why Arjuna had some doubt whether like sometimes Jayadratha can use that one day, but Krishna is clarifying like even Jayadratha will be killed here. It has a nice purport here. Life should therefore move in such a way that everyone act in Krishna consciousness and understand the Supreme Personal Godhead through the medium of spiritual master. Plan of the Supreme Personal Godhead is understood by His mercy. The plan of the devotees are as good as his plans. One should follow such plans and be victorious in the struggle of existence. So how can we know the plan of the Supreme Lord? By mercy of the spiritual master, through the spiritual master, and by mercy of the Supreme Lord. So we see that Srila Prabhupada, he got the instruction from his spiritual master Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur to establish Krishna consciousness throughout the world, and just because Prabhupada stick to that order and tried his best, he was victorious and he was successful. So that was the plan of the Lord. Like Lord Chaitanya told, Sarvat Prachar Hoye Mera Naam. What is that word? Nagaradi Gram. Sarvat Prachar. Yeah, every city, village. Prithvede Ache Nagaradi Gram. Sarvat Prachar Hoye Mera. His guest Ramanand Sangha Prabhu ki jai. Welcome back. So nice to see you.
I heard that he was already sleeping. I didn't come, but I heard.
Look forward to hear from your visit in Mayapur. So Krishna is want to give the credit of success to his devotee Arjuna. Although Krishna has already decided what the result will be. Next verse. Somebody on the phone. Okay. Verse 35. Sanjay Vacha Eta Shud. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, one question.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
During preaching, it might easily be said that atheists may say that everything is the plan of Krishna.
Yeah.
I mean, the 9/11 was plan of the Lord. That's why we just did it. The terrorists can say that. So, I mean, even at a more practical level,
Yes.
I mean, if everything is going by the will of the God, even bad things, sometimes a person can say his laziness or inaction or personal greed as plan of the gods. How to differentiate this thing?
Yeah, these are two extremes to decide. One is Devyavad and one is Karmavad. Like there are two extremes in this. One is to tell, I'm the doer of everything. I'm the doer. I do everything and I get success. So that is not true. Krishna tells, like in 18th chapter, there are 5 factors that is behind every action. Adhishtanam, the Kartacha, Karnam, and there is a Deva. Deva also is included in that. So one who thinks that he himself is the doer of activity is in illusion. There are many other factors comes in play for getting the result of any action. So to think like I'm the only doer is not the correct understanding. Another extreme is to tell that everything is happening by providence or by fate, and this is my fate. If I'm slapping somebody, this is because I'm destined to do. I'm killing somebody because I'm destined to do. So this is Devavad. Again, this is another extreme. The idea is like both combined together to have some certain action to go. And here Prabhupada is mentioning that one should know what is the plan of the Lord through the spiritual master. Life should move in such a way that everyone act in Krishna consciousness, understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the medium of spiritual master. So one can know through the medium of spiritual master means one has to check with these 3 triangles, Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. So when this Guru, Sadhu and Shastra is telling the same thing, that means that is true. Like Bali Maharaj, when Krishna Vaman Dev came, his priest was telling something different. But Shastra told something and sadhus have told something else. So he understood like it's not matching. So he's not supposed to follow that. So one should know from Guru, Sadhu and Shastra what is the plan of the Lord. Otherwise, terrorist and anybody can say, I'm doing this because that is the plan of the Lord. That is just mental speculation. That is just misuse of the understanding of the Lord. So one should know properly by approaching bona fide spiritual master, like what is the plan of the Lord. And one time before the gambling match was happening, so Dhritarashtra has sanctioned the will, like the desire of Duryodhana to bring Pandavas for this gambling match. And Dhritarashtra knew this gambling match actually Saguni was put, and he has some control over the dices, and he is going to take away all the kingdom. And he knew like that is been planned, but it still is sanctioned. So Vidura was telling to Dhritarashtra that do not sanction this because the result will not be good. So then Dhritarashtra gave this like argument that what is destined is going to happen. I am just acting as instrument. So then Vidura tell, Lord gives the things according to the desire of the living entity. He sanction, like he facilitates the desire of the living entities. Yeah, we are not the doer, but how the material nature and everything is coming together and functioning is to facilitate those desires. So we are responsible for the desire that we have. So if we have wrong desire and we sometimes we have some free will, and we may misuse the free will. What is the caution of the free will if we cannot misuse it? So one should have the ability to misuse or use. But the choice, that is the difference with the Asuras and Asuras. Asuras, they always misuse. Asuras, they want to use it properly. When terrorist is using the instruments and everything, this is provided by the Lord only, and the intelligence and everything is provided by but the intention is they own the intention. What intention they have done, and what was the desire. So that's why they are responsible. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So going to next one, 35. Sanjay Vaja, Eta Shrutva Vachana Kesavasya Kitanjali Vepamana Kiriti Namaskritva Bhoya Eva Krishna Sagad Gadam Bhita Panemya. Sanjay said to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the trembling Arjuna offered obeisances with the folded hands again. He fearfully spoke to Lord Krishna in a faltering voice as follows. So, after seeing this fearful form, Arjuna is trembling and offering obeisances again. And the word used for Arjuna here is Kiriti. Kiriti is like, there is a Krita, like helmet was given to Arjuna by Indra. So although he is like a great warrior and he's honored by Indra, but still he is offering obeisances here. Offered obeisance with the folded hand. So he's becoming humble. He's humbling himself in front of the Lord. Namaskritva bhoya eva Krishna sa gadgadam. So with a faltering voice, in fear, he spoke the following words. Next one, Arjuna Vacha. Sthane Rishikesha prakirtaya jagat parharshyat anurajyate cha rakshamsi bhitani dishodavanti sarve namasyanti cha siddha sangha. Arjuna said, Master of the senses, the world become joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although the perfect beings offer you their respectful homage, the demons are afraid and they flee here and there. All this is rightly done. So before Arjuna is just showing that how all this is rightly done, means like the how by this universal form there are different reactions from the demons and the devotees. The devotees offer prayers and surrender to the Supreme Lord, and the demons actually become afraid of flee here and there. So this universal form was shown in the court of Kauravas, in the assembly of Kauravas. That time when Krishna saw the universal form, the Duryodhana and everyone, all the warriors actually became very fearful and stepped back. They didn't start offering obeisances. And even after like Krishna winded up the universal form, they didn't change. Like Arjuna thought like it was just a mystic display of something, but he didn't change his mind to still follow. because so that is misuse of the free will. Prabhupada gave an example of like cat behaves with kitten and the rat differently. The teeth of the cat, sometimes it takes its, the kitten is taken by the, by mouth. The cat takes it from one place to another just to protect. So kitten is, in the mind of the kitten, she's not like fearful. She's feeling the protection of the mother cat. But the rat, when he sees the kitten, he sees the jaws of death in the same kitten. So it's the same jaws, but it looks different from the rat and the kitten. Similarly, the time feature of the Lord, or like the death, is perceived in different ways by the devotees and the like those who are not living in harmony with the Lord will. So it's not that Lord is partial to demigods versus demons, but Krishna reciprocates according to how they approach him. Because demons want to fight and kill and be enemy of the Lord, so he reciprocates like that. Like Hiranyaksha was looking for the Lord to find him and fight with him and defeat him. So the Lord manifests like that. Arjuna saw universal form of the Lord. The demigods took pleasure in it, but others who are demon atheists could not stand when the Lord was praised. Out of the natural fear of devastating forms of the Supreme Personal Godhead, they fled. Krishna's treatment of devotee atheists is praised by Arjuna. In all cases, the devotee glorifies the Lord, but because he knows that whatever he does is good for all. Next one. Kasma chatena namer mahatman gariyase brahmano apya adir akre ananta devesh jagannivas tam aksharam sad asat param yat. O great one, greater even than Brahma, you are the original creator. Why then should they not offer their respectful obeisance unto you, all limitless one, God of gods, the refuge of the universe? You are invincible source, the cause of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation. So Arjuna is indicating why, how, like, what is the reason, like, why people should not offer obeisances. Means like Lord is so great that he is even greater than Brahma. Brahma is the creator, but Lord is the creator of even Brahma. And one of the prayers, yes, next one, Arjuna addresses Lord as Parpitamaha. Parpitamaha. Like Brahma is called Pitama, is like grandfather, because from whom everything comes. So Parpitama is like even the creator of Brahma. So one who is so great that even Brahma is created by him, and Adi Arke. So the word Arke, Adi Kartare, to the Supreme Creator. So he is the original creator of the universe, and Brahma is the secondary creator. And he is the refuge of the whole universe. Jagan Nivasa, Tam Aksharam. Aksharam is imperishable, and he is transcendental to all the cause effect of the material world. So Arjuna is glorifying the opulence of the transcendental qualities of Krishna, and that's why one should always render and offer obeisances to the Lord, because it's the root of all cosmic manifestation. So Prabhupada gives the meaning of all the words Aksharam, Anantam, Mahatma. Mahatma means most magnanimous and unlimited. Anantam is because there is nothing that is not covered by influence and energy of the Lord. Devesha is because he is the controller of even demigods and above them. And Brahma is created by him. And then Aksharam is because this material creation is subject to destruction, but Lord is above the material creation and destruction. Next one. Tamadi deva purusha puranasa tamasya viswasya param nidhanam vetesi vedyam cha param cha dhama tavya tato vishwa anantarupam. You are the original personality of Godhead, the oldest, the ultimate century of this manifested cosmic world. You are the knower of everything, and you are all that is knowable. You are the supreme refuge, the above the material modes, or limitless form. This whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you. So the word nidhanam is used here. Tamasya viswasya param nidhanam. Nidana means even the Brahman effulgence rest upon the Supreme Lord. So I think that is 13th chapter. Like Krishna tells, Brahmano hi pratishtaham amritasya avasasya. 15th, no, not 15th. Brahmanas pratishtaham amritasya avasasya cha shashvatasya dharmasya sukhe sakantikasya cha. Anyways, you can go that later. So Lord is the resting place for whole world, including the Brahman effulgence, and he's the knower. Vetesi vedyam cha param cha dhama. He's the knower. He's knowable, and param is transcendental. Dhama. So the goal of the knowledge and the source of the knowledge is the Supreme Lord. That also comes 15th chapter where Krishna says, Vedes sarve ahamev vedyo, Vedant Kirt Ved Videv Chaham. I am the compiler of the Veda, a knower of the Vedas, and from all the Vedas I am to be known. Next verse. Vayur Yamagni Varun Shashanka Pajapatistam Parpita Mahasya Namo Namastestu Sahastra Kirtve Punasya Bhoyopi Namo Namaste. You are air, you are the supreme controller. You are fire, you are water, you are the moon. You are Brahma, the first living creature, and you are the great grandfather. I therefore offer my respectful obeisance unto you 1,000 times, and again and yet again. So these are continuing the prayers of Arjuna. So Arjuna is addressing Lord as addressing here as air, because air, the most important representation of the demigods, is all pervasive. And Krishna is the Parpitamaha, he is the great grandfather. He is the father of even Brahma, Lord Brahma. Nama purastad athapashtataste namastute sarvata eva sarve anantaviryam itavikramastvam sarvam samapnoshi tatosti sarvaha. Obeisances to you from the front, from behind, and from all sides. O unbounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You are the all-pervading, and you are everything. So Prabhupada mentioned, like out of loving ecstasy, Arjuna is, as a friend, is offering obeisance from all sides repeatedly to Krishna, accepting he's the master of all potency and all power, and far superior to all warriors and assembled in the battlefield. Going next. Sakheti matva pasabham yaduktam he Krishna he Yadav he Sakheti ajanata mahimanam tavedam maya pamadat paniyena vapi yachahvahasartham asatkritosi vihara sayyashan bhojaneshu eko athavapyachuttat samaksham tat shamye tvaham aprameyam. Think of you as my friend. I have rashly addressed you as, O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend, not knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times, justling as we relaxed, lay on the same bed, sat or ate together, sometimes alone, sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, please excuse me for all those offenses. So in purport, Prabhupada mentioned like the relationship with the living entity with Krishna is eternally fixed, and it cannot be forgotten at any point of time. Here, although Arjuna is in wonder about seeing the Krishna's universal form, but still he is remembering his friendly relationship, and is asking pardon and requesting Krishna to excuse the many of the informal gestures that has happened between Krishna and Arjuna. Hey Krishna, hey Yadav, hey Sakheti. So we see like sometimes Arjuna has addressed Krishna as Krishna, not Sri Krishna, like not with an honorific title, but just like in a informal ways. Another is like hey Yadava, because the sons of Yayati was Purus and Yadav, Purus, Yadav, and there was few more. So Puru was given the kingdom because in exchange of the old age, nobody, like only Puru agreed, that was the smallest son, or like youngest son of Yayati. But Yadava, because Yadava, he knew that Krishna is going to appear, so he didn't exchange the old age that time. So that's why the Prabhu was giving the kingdom, and although they're coming the same this same succession from Chandravansa, like from the Moon dynasty. So sometimes Arjuna has addressed, Yadava, Krishna as Yadava, because they didn't rule. They didn't rule the major kingdom. I mean, they were also given kingdom, but it was like sub territories. Like main kingdom was given to Purus, and that's how the Arjuna had the more like. So Krishna is not playing a role of a king, but a minister only, and so Arjuna may have some understanding, like I'm the king and he's not the king, or like he may have this understanding, like I'm superior, but still I'm considering Krishna as Sakha. So in that gesture, sometimes Arjuna and Krishna may have exchange, because they were in the same age, and Krishna is treated Arjuna as equal. When Krishna used to come into the forest, when Pandavas were in the forest, he used to offer obeisance to Yudhishthira and Bhima, and used to embrace Arjuna. And Sahadev, Nakula, Sahadev was younger, so they used to offer obeisance. But all the Pandavas have proper understanding that they are under the shelter of Krishna. But as far as the etiquettes are concerned, normal etiquette exchanges are concerned, they used to follow this. So Krishna and Arjuna was like together. They used to like eat together, sleep together, and sometimes Arjuna may have told him like Krishna tell something. So yes, you are very truthful, because sometimes he knew Krishna's pastime in Vrindavan, and Krishna tells, I have not eaten butter and I have not eaten earth. So Arjuna may have told like you are very truthful in that sarcastic way. So Arjuna is telling you, please forgive all these of informal gesture out of so the two words you use here, parmada and parneya nuvapi. So out of friendship or out of like he may not have proper understanding, like Krishna is the Supreme Lord. That is pramada. Relation between living entity and Krishna is eternally fixed, cannot be forgotten, as we see that from the behavior of Arjuna. Although Arjuna has seen the opulence of universal form, he cannot forget his friendly relation with Krishna. Next one. Pitasi lokasya characharasya tamasya pujasya garu gariyan natvat samotya vidhikas chikutonya loka treyapya patim prabhava. You are the father of this cosmic complete cosmic manifestation of the moving and the non-moving. You are its worshipable chief, and the supreme spiritual master. No one is equal to you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then could there be anyone greater than you within the three worlds, O Lord of immeasurable power? So the Lord is addressed as Krishna is addressed as worshipable, because the Father, as the Father is worshipable by the Son. What is it? Loka treyapya pativ. So lower, middle, and higher. Yeah. He is the spiritual master because he originally gave the Vedic instruction to Brahma, and presently he is also instructing to Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. So we are almost for. We'll try to see that there are 10 more verses. Is it okay if we can cover it so that we don't have to have next class? Okay. So in the purport, Prabhupada mentioned like how Krishna is the greatest, and Prabhupada mentioning some Svetashvara Upanishad things, and Lord is greatest because he has nothing to be done, like there is no obligation. Natasyam karyam karnam na vidyate. Although his senses is not like ours, he performs all sensory activities. Therefore, the senses are neither imperfect nor limited. Next one, 44. Tasmat pranamya panidhaya kayam pasadyetam aham ishamidam piteve putrasya sakhev sakhyo priya priyahar vasi devasodam. You are the Supreme Lord, to be worshipped by every living being. Thus I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask you mercy. As a father tolerates the impudence of the son, a friend the impertinence of a friend, or a wife the familiarity of her partner, please tolerate the wrongs that I may have done. Next one. Adrashtapurvam hirshotosmi drashtva bhayen cha parvethitam manome tadev me drashya deva purvam prasid devesha jagan nivasha. After seeing this universal form, which I have never heard or never seen before, I am gladdened. But at the same time, my mind is disturbed by fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the supreme, as the personality of God, Lord of the Lords and abode of the universe. So Arjuna is having the fear. The mind is disturbed by the fear. At the same time, he is gladdened. He is happy to see that my friend is so great. He is the supreme personality of God. So at the same time, he is disturbed by fear. Arjuna is asking the Lord to again come back to the previous form, in the four-handed form. So in the purport, Prabhupada mentioned that the four-handed form and two-handed form are transcendental, but the universal form is temporary. Like Arjuna asking to show the Narayana form because he can assume any form. Next one, Kritinam Gadinam Chakrana Hastam Ichhami Tvam Drashtam Eva Tatev Teneva Rupena Chaturbhujena Sastra Baho Bhav Vishwamurte. Hare Krishna, Govinda Dutta Prabhu. We have just done till 46. So is it okay if we just got... Thank you so much. O universal form, thousand-armed Lord, I wish to see you in your four-armed form with helmeted head and with club, wheel, conch and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form. So Krishna is just reciprocating to the request of Arjuna. First, Arjuna requests Krishna to show the universal form. So Krishna showed the universal form. Now Arjuna is fearful and disturbed. So Arjuna is asking, please show the Chaturbhujena, so the four-handed form. So that it's very clear that Krishna is the origin. Two-handed form is the origin of all other forms. So in the purport also Prabhupada mentions like Ramadi Murti Shukla Nime Nitishtan Nana Avatar Makrod Bhuvneshu Gintu. So all these forms are emanating from the Supreme Lord. He is the origin of all other features. He is not different from his preliminary expansion. He is the God in any of his innumerable forms. Going next. Shri Bhagwan Vacha Maya Prasaden Tava Arjunen Nedam Rupam Tam Darshyat Atma Yogat Tejo Mayam Vishwanantamadhyam Yanme Tavadanyena Chadrashta Purvam. The Supreme Personal Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, happily have I shown you by my internal potency this supreme universal form within the material world. No one before you have ever seen this primal form, unlimited and full of glaring effulgence. So Krishna showed this universal form just to satisfy the desire of his friend Arjuna. And by that, many of the heavenly planets, devotees in the heavenly planets and other outer space could also see this universal form. So here Krishna is telling like nobody else has seen this universal form before. Now next is like process, how this form can be, how one can get this vision. So 48, Navedi yagye adhyanen dhaner न च क्रियाभिर्न तपोभि ऊर्गे एवं रूप्य सक्यम अहम न लोके दृष्टवाम तवदन्येन कुरु परवीरा. Best of Kuru warriors, no one before you have ever seen this universal form of mine. For neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances can I be seen in this form on the material world. So by negation, Krishna, the similar verse is going to come just the 3 verse before, 53, where Krishna again tells like this two-handed form also cannot be seen by. In 53 also Krishna mentioned like na ham vedena tapsa na dhanena chaya jiya sakyam evam vidudrishtun dashtavan asimam yatha. So all these things one cannot see the the universal form or the two-handed form. The point here is that one may not be able to like universal form one cannot not see. It's not that one should not do all these things. One should study the Vedas and perform sacrifices, charity and penances. In 18th chapter, Krishna clearly tells that yajna dana tapa karma pavanani manishanam. Even the great souls are purified by doing this yajna dana tapa karma. But these in itself is not enough to perceive the Lord. Lord has to be pleased, and by his own free will he can reveal his form. So in the purport, Prabhupada mentions who can be shown, who had the qualification to get this divine vision. Divine vision come to those who are divine, and divine means those who are Vishnu Bhaktas. Vishnu Bhakta Smarta Deva. Those who are atheistic, who do not believe in Vishnu, who recognize only the impersonal part of the Supreme, of Krishna as Supreme. So one cannot have the divine vision without becoming divine. In other words, those who have divine vision can also see Krishna, can also see like Arjuna. Unless, so in the towards the end of this purport, Prabhupada mentioned, unless one become a devotee of Krishna, one cannot see the universal form of the Lord. Next one. Mam te vatha mam cha vimod bhavo drashtva rupam ghoram idridam mamedam vayapete bhi pitamana punastvam tadev me rupam idam papasya. You have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished. My devotee, be free again from all disturbances. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire. So, in this universal form, Krishna has already seen like how so many warriors are been killed, Bhishma, Dronas, and they were destined to be killed because they have neglected their duty. They have kept silent when Draupadi was being disrobed in the assembly of Kurus. So they were already killed by the unlawful law. So Arjuna should not forsake his duty as Kshatriya to fight. So that was the purpose of showing the universal form. A devotee is not much interested in the universal form, but he does not enable, because it does not enable to reciprocate the loving feeling. So that's why Arjuna has asked Krishna to go back to the four-handed form and then eventually see the two-handed form. Sanjay Vacha iti itya Arjuna Vasudevas tathokta savkam rupa dashyamasa bhuya ashav sayamasa cha bhit menam bhutva puna somya vapust mahatma. Sanjay said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personal Godhead Krishna, having spoken thus to Arjuna, displayed his real four-handed form and at last showed his two-armed form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna. So the Krishna first comes into four-handed form and then goes back to the two-handed form. And the word used here is Somya Rupa. Somya Rupa is very beautiful form. It is known as the most beautiful form. When he was present, everyone was attracted simply by Krishna's form. And because Krishna is the director of the universe, he just banished the fear of Arjuna, his devotee, and showed him again his beautiful form. So Prabhupada mentioned the reference of Brahma Samhita, Pramajana Shruti Bhakti Vilochanena. Only a devotee whose eyes are smeared with the ointment of love can see this beautiful form of Krishna. So many people could see the two-handed form, but to appreciate the two-handed form is possible only when one has the love of Godhead. Like Duryodhana saw and many other people saw, but only Krishna or devotee can appreciate the two-handed form is the origin of all other forms. Next one, Arjuna Vacha Dashtvedam Manushya Rupam Tam Saumya Janardana Idinama Masmi Samvarta Sacheta Prakriti Gata. When Arjuna saw Krishna in his original form, he said, O Janardana, seeing this human-like form so very beautiful, I am now composed in mind and I am restored to my original nature. So it says like how after seeing the Saumya Rupa, two-handed form, Arjuna is pacified and Krishna has actually shown this universal form and his four-handed form, so that so how can he be an ordinary human being? So Krishna is from two-handed form, he has emanated the universal form and the four-handed form. So it's very clear that Krishna is the origin of all these forms. It's not that, it's not other way. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Sudurdarshidam idam rupam drashtvanasi yan mama deva apasya rupasya nitya darshan kankshana. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, this form of mine you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. Even the demigods are ever seeking the opportunity to see this form, which is so dear. So in the purport, Prabhupada mentioned about Sudardarsham, like how this form is very difficult to see and appreciate. And even the demigods, the highly elevated demigods, are actually aspiring to see this form. And Prabhupada mentions the how, like before even Krishna was born, when Krishna was in the womb of Devaki, the demigod came and he started offering prayers to the Supreme Lord. And like we in the Krishna book, in the first chapter, there is a chapter on prayers by demigods. You have something?
Like in the starting of the chapter, Krishna is showing the universal form. So it is explained that he was also sitting on the chariot, and Arjuna was also sitting, and they were looking at the universal form. Now, when Arjuna says the universal form, he becomes fearful and he wants to see the four-handed form. So the transition I am not able to understand. Like Krishna is there in front of him in two-handed form. He is just seeing this universal form, and
So universal form, like first Krishna saw the four-handed form, and then became two-handed form.
No, but Krishna was also seeing the universal form, right? Or
no,
he had disappeared.
Arjuna was seeing the universal form.
But Krishna was sitting, right?
No, Krishna transformed as a universal form. Maybe Govinda Dutta Prabhu, do you have some idea on this? Like, was Krishna was also showing the universal form, or Krishna transformed the universal form? My understanding is that Krishna transformed him, but maybe you can give ideas. So the question is like, I think, anyways.
My understanding from what I heard is Arjuna saw the universal form and was overwhelmed with that. So even though Krishna was present, he wasn't seeing that form. He was overwhelmed by the universal form.
Correct.
This is like Mother Yashoda. Krishna showing to Mother Yashoda, even though Krishna was in front of her, in front of her, when he opened the mouth, she was absorbed in seeing the form in the mouth, and then that is the experience she had.
Correct.
So Prabhu, if you see the picture like plate 11 in the Gita itself, so both Arjuna and Krishna, they are on the chariot, and universal form is in the front, like as if Krishna is there separately sitting, as well as the universal form is there. So like, and then the universal form transformed into Narayan with like four-handed Vishnu, and then after that to Krishna, I don't know if the same.
There's one more palette where Krishna is having four-handed form, and then it transforming into two-handed form. And it's like it shows a transition. So from that palette, it seems like is Krishna actually transformed as a universal form? But
I think the palette shows like that, but it is not like that. Like if you see the 9th verse, he says, "O King," Sanjaya says, "O King, having spoken thus, the Supreme Lord of all mystic power, the personality of Godhead, displayed his universal form to Arjuna." That means when he was showing the universal form, Krishna had transformed into the universal form. He was not like present there. This verse at least tells me that. Maybe but the painting confuses. The painting shows that the universal form is also there, two-handed form is also there. But
there are paintings which shows that couple of things happening in one. Like although they may have happened different times. Like sometimes we see painting of Krishna stealing butter, so many other pastime in one picture. So sometimes that happens. Anyways, so keep going from here. So verse 50. Any comments? Yes, ma'am.
I have a question, Prabhuji, on translation of 50th verse.
Yes, ma'am.
Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, "The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, have spoken thus to Arjuna, displayed his real form, four-armed form, at last showed his two-armed form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna." I have a question on his real four-armed form.
Yeah.
Means it seems
is
like
his form. He's one of the form. And
no,
in that way,
I am what I am asking is about a real.
Yeah.
His real four-armed form and then his two-armed form.
So it's not unreal.
No, I understood, but
so that point that you're trying to mention is it the original form or not?
Yeah. Correct.
So original form is clearly mentioned as Krishna's form. That we can see. We have to see from the total reference of the like. If we go with the proposition that this is the original form, then so many other things will not fit in the place. What Bhagavatam is telling, what Brahma Samhita is telling, what Krishna is telling, it won't fit in the place. So, but if we go with the proposition that this is the Krishna is the original form, then everything falls on the right line. So the word used here is Saukayam Rupam. Uktva Saukam Rupam. Saukam is his own. Rupam is form. So his form he is showing, and one of the form is four-handed form, and there are many other forms. Okay. So actually we have only 5 minutes, otherwise Govinda Dutta Prabhu will beat me. So I have to just quickly cover this. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Sudardasham idam rupa dashvani yatha Deva apasya rupasya nitya darshan kankshita. So if the demigods want to see this two-handed form, we see like the prayers of demigods in the womb when Krishna was in the womb, and similarly there are more pastime of Krishna, like Mahavishnu, Lord Mahavishnu actually stole away the sons of Brahmana just because he wanted to see Krishna. And later on Krishna with Arjuna on the chariot crossed the covering of the universe and then went to Mahavishnu. And Mahavishnu had this plan just to see the form of Krishna. Similarly, we seen one time when Krishna was there. When Krishna was there, Lord Shiva came to see the baby Krishna, and Mother Yashoda was fearful. So Mother Yashoda was fearful to allow Lord Shiva. So that time she didn't allow, and then Lord Shiva was nearby, and Krishna started crying. So later on, Lord Shiva could see. So the demigods like Varuna, one time Krishna went to Varuna Loka, and Varuna very nicely, gave back Nand Maharaj and was reciprocating like prayers and everything. So we see the demigods actually take shelter of Krishna and always want to see the form of Krishna. So we discuss of Brahma Shiva. And here there are many references where Krishna tells, I come in my original form. Like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells, like in those who are mudas, avjaniti ma muda, manushintanu mashritam. I'm not visible to the foolish who write this, manushintanu mashritam. So two-handed form actually is bewildering because people may confuse that with the ordinary form. That's why Krishna tells 9.11 that avjananti ma muda manushintanu mashritam. When people foolishly not understand this form, then that is not good. Next, let's go to next verse. Naham vedena tapsa na danena chejiya sakkam evam vido drashtu drasvanasi mam yatha. The form you are seeing with your transcendental eyes cannot be understood simply by studying the Vedas, nor by undergoing serious penances, nor by charity, nor by worship. It is not by these means that one can see me as I am. So Krishna is negating the other processes and glorifying bhakti. Bhakti is the only path by which we can understand Krishna. Similar verse is there in 18th chapter. Bhaktiasto ananya sakya evam vido arjuna gyatum dashtu cha tatvena parveshtim cha parantapa. One can know the Supreme Personality of Godhead only through bhakti, process of bhakti. So I'm just reading through purport here. Nor is he to be understood by a person who is officially go to temple or offer worship. They make a visit, but they cannot understand Krishna as he is. Krishna is to be understood only through the path of devotional service explained by Krishna himself in the next verse. Next verse, let's recite it together. Bhaktyasta ananya sakya Bhaktyasta ananya sakya Eham evam vido arjuna eva vido Arjuna gyatum dashtu cha tatvena parveshtum cha parantapa. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be known directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. So this is one conclusive verse where Krishna tells that all by Veda, Dhyana, Yajna and everything one cannot understand, but only by pure devotional service. Similar verses in Brahma Samhita where Krishna tells Pantastu Koti Satvarsam Paramahimya Vayurathapi Manaso Munipinguvanam Sopyasti Yat Pabdasiminna Vichinta Tatve Govinda Madhivashanta. Like the yogis and everything, they go through dealing process of many years, but they cannot approach. But there is a verse that tells Vedeshu Durlabh Durlabh Mahatma Bhakto. Only the devotees can perceive the Supreme Lord. So in the purport, Prabhupada mentions it's not that these are negated, like one should not do Veda Yajna. One should study the Vedic scriptures and follow regulatory principles. One should do charity, and best charity is to give Krishna consciousness to others. So Prabhupada mentions in detail here. And only by having unflinching devotion to the Supreme Lord and is directed by the Supreme Lord, spiritual master in whom one have similar unflinching faith can see the Supreme Personal Godhead by revelation. So next paragraph, Prabhupada mentioned the difference between the two-handed form and four-handed form versus the universal form. I'm reading from 1 to 2nd paragraph of this verse. The four-handed form Narayana and the two-handed form of Krishna are eternal and transcendental, whereas the universal form exhibited to Arjuna is temporary. Sudarshisham means it is difficult to see. No one can see the universal form. Suggests that no one had seen the universal form before. It also suggests that amongst the devotees there was no necessity of showing it. The form was exhibited by Krishna at the request of Arjuna, so that in the future one who represents himself as the incarnation of God, people can ask to see see his universal form. So setting a criteria for somebody who may be claiming to be God should be prepared to show the universal form. So we discuss about this point. There is one nice line where Prabhupada mentioned one must take to devotional service of Krishna, and only then one can attempt to write commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. So one should not be proud of academical education in Vedic literature, but one should take to devotional service. And next paragraph Prabhupada mentioned like how Krishna is the origin of even Mahavishnu and the four-handed form of Krishna. So in the universal form we see the Garbhodasaya Vishnu was there, and even the Mahavishnu is like in Brahma Samhita reference is quoted here, where Mahavishnu is said to be the expansion of Krishna. Therefore one should conclusively worship the personal form Krishna, the Supreme Personal Godhead, who has eternal bliss, who has eternal bliss and knowledge. So then lot of references are there in this continuing purport, where Brahma Samhita first verse, Ishvara Param Krishna Satchitana Dvigra, that Krishna, he has the body of eternity, knowledge and bliss. And in 7th chapter Krishna tells like Matta Patram Nanyat Kasyasi Dhananjaya, there is nothing higher than me. And the list of incarnation and the end of Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna tells all these incarnation are plenary portion or part of the plenary portion, but Krishna is Bhagavan Swam. And then 10th chapter, so a lot of references are there to show that Krishna, the two-handed form Krishna, is the origin of all other incarnations and forms. So there is a pastime of once Krishna was showing the four-handed form in Vrindavan, and all the gopis came and they bowed down to Lord Narayana and was asking, where is Krishna gone? So then Narayana pointed out to Krishna has gone there. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quoted this pastime to Ramanand Rai, where Ramanand Rai, it was asked why Lakshmiji was doing austerity to enter into Ras Leela, because he was attracted. So then Ramanand Rai told that there was no there's no like problem in this, because Krishna and Vishnu is the same person. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells, but gopis never is attracted to four-handed Narayana form, and that's where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quoted this pastime. So when the gopis, they didn't ask Narayana, but they asked where is Krishna. And then when Radharani came, like Narayana four-handed, two-handed could not stay also. He had to reveal because of the love of Radharani. This form may be seen wonderful to the person who are involved in elevating themselves to fruity activities, but to the person who engaged in devotional service, the two-handed form Krishna is the most dear. So this is the conclusive understanding here. Next verse. This verse the essence of Bhagavad Gita, and the last verse in this chapter. Mat karm karm mat parma mat bhakta sangha vivarjita nirvera sarbhuteshu yasa mameti pandava. My dear Arjuna, he who engages in my devotional service free from contamination of fruity activities and mental speculation, and he who works for me, who makes me the ultimate goal of life, his life, and who is friendly to every living being, he certainly comes to me. So these are the 5 things mentioned here. If one want to go back to Krishna Loka in the spiritual sky, we should follow these 5 things. Mat karm karm, one should work for Krishna, do Krishna karma. Mat parmo, understanding Krishna is the supreme. Mat bhakta, become a devotee of Krishna. Sangha vivarjita, Prabhupada mentioned, without the contamination of fruity activities and mental speculation. Nirvera sarbhuteshu means one who is friendly to every living entity. So this is a nice purport. Prabhupada mentioned therefore this verse is considered the essence of Bhagavad Gita, and this Bhagavad Gita is directed to the conditioned soul who are engaged in material world for the purpose of lording it over material nature, who do not know the real spiritual life. So then Prabhupada mentions a verse from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, quoting like how one should engage into Krishna karma. So in short, in the purport, Prabhupada mentioned like one should engage into doing activities for Krishna, like constructing a temple, or like engaging in deity worship and offering prasadam and accepting prasadam. Next, Krishna desires that one offer him either leaf, flower, fruit or water. By such offering he is satisfied. So mat kar kar, mat parma, understanding Krishna is the highest. All the Brahman effulgence and everything else is resting upon Krishna. Mat bhakta, bhakta is defined as those who are engaged into 9 processes of devotional service, starting from hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping, serving lotus feet, offering prayers, carrying out the instruction of the Lord, making friendship, surrendering everything to the Lord. Then Sangha Vivarjita, who dissociate himself from the person who are against Krishna. So then Prabhupada mentioned the verse about what is the highest bhakti, which is anyone who want to execute unalloyed devotion service must be freed from kind of mental contamination, fruity activity and mental speculation. Gyan, karma, ananuttam. So next Prabhupada give example of like, although Kansa was actually thinking about the Lord, but it was not favorable. So that is not considered bhakti. There are many histories. Then Nirvera Sarbhuteshu. Nirvera means one should not have enmity with other living entity. One should be friendly with the other living entity. There are many examples of history of devotees who risked their life for spreading God consciousness. The favorite example is Jesus Christ. He was crucified by non-devotees, but he sacrificed his life for spreading Krishna consciousness. Of course, it would be superficial to understand that he was killed. Similarly, in India, there are examples of Haridas Thakur and Prahlad Maharaj. Why such risk? Because they wanted to spread Krishna consciousness. It is difficult. Krishna conscious person knows if a man is suffering, it is due to the forgetfulness of his eternal relationship with Krishna. This is one of the conclusive lines Prabhupada mentioned. So one day Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when first time Prabhupada met Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur told Prabhupada to go and preach in the English language all over the world. I mean, preach Krishna consciousness in the English language. Prabhupada quote this, like he told, like India is under the rule, and how people will understand. So that Prabhupada mentioned, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur mentioned that only problem in the world is lack of Krishna consciousness, and only solution is to have Krishna consciousness. So similar line is there here. A Krishna conscious person knows that if a man is suffering, it is due to forgetfulness of his eternal relationship with Krishna. Therefore, the highest benefit one can render to human society is by relieving one's neighbor from all material problems. In such a way, pure devotee is engaged in the service of the Lord. Now we can imagine how merciful Krishna is to those who are engaged in his service, risking everything to him. Therefore, it is certain such person must reach the supreme planet after leaving the body. So next, last paragraph, Prabhupada mentioned in Brahma Samhita, it is stated those who are attracted to Shyam Sundar form of Krishna in love and devotion can see him always within heart and cannot see anything else. One should understand therefore that purport of the 11th chapter is that form of Krishna is essence and the supreme. Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakti ki jai. Thank you very much.
So one clarification here to Prabhu's question. If you look in text 13 purport.
Okay. 13 purport.
The translation is, at the time Arjuna could see in the universal form of the Lord the unlimited expansions of the universe situated in one place, although divided into many, many thousands. Purport, the word tatra, there, is very significant. It indicates that both Arjuna and Krishna were sitting on the chariot when Arjuna saw the universal form. So that, that confirms with the other points that Srila Prabhupada makes, that Krishna displayed the form, not transform. So we can understand that Arjuna was overwhelmed by the form and then asking Krishna to reveal his original form.
Yes, it's very clear.
And actually, once Rasaraj Prabhu made a wonderful comment regarding the universal form, like how Krishna gives this divine vision. Actually, he was saying, even though Krishna says he's giving his divine vision, actually he lowered the vision of Arjuna because Arjuna was already seeing the 200 form, which is most. He was seeing the Shyam Sundar form already. Correct. So he didn't appreciate the divine form which is within it. So he actually lowered his vision to give access to the universal form.
Yeah, Prabhupada also mentioned in the purport, like Krishna didn't change his mind. He's only gave the vision and then took the vision. Because he's a devotee. His mind should remain as a devotee. Nice one. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So we'll have Govinda Dutta Prabhu giving Sunday feast class today. Please welcome Govinda Dutta Prabhu. Hari Bol.
Thank you very much.